1,000 years ago, monstrous beasts from the Black Abyss descended, plunging the human world into chaos. Amidst the despair, mysterious monuments emerged, offering humanity its only glimmer of hope for survival. These monuments bestowed incredible powers upon humans, creating warriors with unique professions to fight the invaders. Through relentless leveling and fierce battles, humanity successfully drove the beasts back into their dark dimension. Now, an annual ceremony selects high school students to inherit these powers and defend the world. But the threat remains, as countless malevolent eyes still watch from the shadows of the abyss. The scene shifts to the present day, year 53, at the job transfer day ceremony in Lintian City. A stern-looking official announces the start of the ceremony, where each student's fate will be decided. She rallies the students, reminding them that the future of their nation now rests in their hands. The young hopefuls are buzzing with excitement, eagerly awaiting their awakening after 18 long years of study. A student scoffs at the high hopes, reminding everyone that only half of them will even get a combat class. Their focus shifts to Lin Tianhao, the school's biggest slacker, mocking him for sleeping through the ceremony. But his eyes snap open, revealing a sharp and focused gaze that betrays his lazy reputation. A system window identifies him as the bottom of his class, though he's secretly a transmigrator who has waited for this day. A friend asks about his ambitions, and Lin Tianhao boldly states he's aiming for an S-rank talent or a hidden class. Nearby students erupt in laughter, ridiculing the low-ranking student for his impossible dream. His stats confirm his pathetic C potential, but he refuses to believe his fate is sealed. A spark of defiance glints in his eye, a silent promise to overcome the odds. He recalls the miracle of his reincarnation, clinging to the hope that he can defy expectations once more. The ceremony officially begins as the announcer calls his class to the stage to receive their new professions. A brawny student named Wang Dong confidently steps forward as his name is called. He throws a smug look over his shoulder, challenging Lin Tianhao to watch a real awakening. He places his hand on the massive monument, ready to endure the brief but intense transfer process. A brilliant golden light erupts from the stone, engulfing him in raw power. His eyes blaze with newfound energy as the divine light successfully completes his job transfer. He triumphantly flexes, awakening as a powerful warrior class, much to the official's delight. His triumphant expression falters as his results appear, a mere C-rank talent. The official reassures him that a C rank is still outstanding and directs him to the city's guild center for training. Despite the average result, his new status as a warrior instantly earns him the admiration of his female classmates. Soaking in the attention, he takes a selfie with his new admirers before flashing a condescending thumbs up at Lin Tianhao. Wang Dong looms over Lin Tianhao, sneering that he didn't notice the class trash was even there. The bully's crew surrounds Lin Tianhao, but Wang Dong waves them off, too busy planning his victory celebration. Lin Tianhao watches them go, disgusted that a brute like Wang Dong could be chosen as a defender. Wang Dong's lackeys mock Lin Tianhao from a distance, confident their leader's success is unmatchable. The announcer's voice cuts through the crowd, calling the one name everyone's waiting to hear, Lin Tianhao. With a simple raise of his hand, Lin Tianhao accepts the challenge, drawing the eyes of his classmates. He walks with purpose, each step echoing his resolve to defy the odds. Standing before the monument, he silently prays for any combat class, anything to give him a fighting chance. His expression is a mixture of intense hope and desperation as he reaches for the stone. The moment his hand makes contact, a surge of golden energy crackles across the monument's surface. The energy around his hand intensifies, crackling with raw, untamed power. A colossal pillar of golden light erupts from the monument, dwarfing everything in the plaza. Bathed in the overwhelming glow, Lin Tianhao sees a chance to finally rewrite his destiny. The officials stare in utter disbelief, wondering if they're witnessing the birth of a legendary class. But the golden light fades, replaced by a strange, chilling aura that settles over the stage. The announcer approaches with a look of pity, preparing to deliver what seems to be disappointing news. His heart sinks as she announces his new profession, the notoriously weak summoner class. The crowd bursts into jeers, mocking him for awakening a combat class even worse than a non-combat one. But as they laugh, a new system window appears, binding him to the identity of the Abyssal Lord and granting an SSS rank talent. He learns his true power, the Abyssal Lord system, which will bestow a new SSS level talent every 10 levels. He internally processes the system's message, realizing he's just been gifted a top-tier SSS talent. The true potential of his system becomes clear, promising him a new SSS talent every 10 levels. The official presents him with a card, marking his new identity as a summoner. As he takes it, the system bestows his first SSS rank talent, the ominous-sounding demonic sacrifice. His gaze sharpens, absorbing the information about his newly acquired, game-changing ability. He learns the skill's terrifying function, sacrificing his own max HP to instantly demonize and level up a creature. The system confirms the daunting drawback: any health sacrificed for this power is lost forever. He rationalizes the steep cost, concluding that as a backline summoner, he can mitigate the risk with HP-boosting gear. The system specifies the exchange rate. Every 100 points of sacrificed health grants his summon 1 level. The math clicks into place, revealing he has enough health to immediately boost a summon to an incredible level 9. He resolves to use his risky new power carefully, while the official offers him pitying advice. He politely dismisses her concern, his confidence leaving the official looking skeptical. The crowd continues to mock him, with some suggesting he should just give up on being a warrior. He walks through the sea of whispers, fully aware of the summoner class's terrible reputation. But with a defiant smirk, he silently vows to rise to the very peak of this world. A few hours pass as the ceremony concludes. Arriving home, his sister eagerly asks about his new profession, to which he gives a one-word answer. Her face falls with worry as she realizes he received the infamous trash-tier summoner class. He simply confirms her fears, reaching out to her with a comforting gesture. He gently dries her hair as she promises to become strong enough to protect him next year. He looks away, flustered by his sister's earnest concern and proximity. He reassures her with a towel to the face, claiming his summoner class is far from weak. After some playful sibling banter, he heads to his room, dismissing her worries. A sudden message on his phone summons all newly transferred students to a class assembly. With a determined look, he decides to attend and see what this new development is about. Back in the classroom, the teacher breaks down the results, highlighting the single lonely summoner. From the back of the room, Wang Dong and his crony openly mock the useless person with the useless class. The teacher, showing some pity, calls Lin Tianhao forward, offering him a special beginner's guide. He politely accepts the book, receiving a final word of encouragement from his concerned teacher. Lin Tianhao grimaces at the massive tome, realizing the guide's thickness confirms the summoner's rock-bottom reputation. The teacher reveals the assembly is for data collection, warning the students not to bring shame to their class. The students are led outside to a massive, high-tech machine designed for testing their new abilities. A stern-looking official with long gray hair announces the start of the job aptitude test. An eager mage student steps forward, confidently volunteering to be the first to test his power. He unleashes a powerful blast of blue magic, earning a respectable score of 73. The digital display flashes the number 73, confirming his decent but unremarkable talent. Another student, a powerful warrior, follows up with a fierce golden slash against the machine. His impressive attack earns a high score of 89, placing him at the top of the class so far. With the high scorers setting the bar, the announcer finally calls for the class's only summoner, Lin Tianhao. He faces the target, clutching the guide and realizing he only knows the theory of a basic summoning spell. He decides to take a leap of faith, hoping the complex spell in the book actually works. He focuses his will, reciting the ancient and complex incantation from the guide. A powerful gust of wind suddenly swirls around him, signaling the spell's activation. His teacher's jaw drops, completely stunned by the powerful reaction to the supposedly weak spell. The entire class looks up in awe, wondering what kind of powerful beast he could have possibly summoned. After all the buildup, a tiny bouncing blue slime appears, looking completely harmless. He stares blankly at the creature, his mind struggling to process the anticlimactic result. The crowd erupts in derisive laughter, mocking him for summoning a creature that looks more like a pet than a weapon. Utterly flustered, he questions if this squishy blob is truly his summoned creature. A system window confirms his worst fears, displaying the pathetic stats of his level 1 beginner slime. He scoffs at the slime's pitiful 9 attack power, realizing it's completely useless in a fight. The teacher silences the crowd, demanding everyone look at the official test score. The digital display confirms the pathetic result, settling on a single-digit score of 9. With a strained expression, the teacher awkwardly announces the humiliating 9-point score. He tries to console the downtrodden Lin Tianhao, while the crowd's laughter echoes around them. But Lin Tianhao's demeanor shifts, and he boldly asks his surprised teacher for one more attempt. With a smirk, he decides it's time to unleash his secret weapon, the SSS-ranked talent Demonic Sacrifice. He confirms the sacrifice, choosing to wager 200 of his own health points to power up his summon. The crowd watches with disdain, certain that another try will only lead to more failure. His max HP plummets as a sinister red energy erupts, engulfing the terrified slime in a demonic transformation. The demonic energy intensifies, twisting and swirling around the slime. The transformation continues, the red energy pulsing and growing more menacing. The other students react with shock and confusion to the sudden change. Lin Tianhao stands calmly, observing the effects of his sacrifice. He wonders if this transformed creature is indeed the demonized slime. A system window appears, confirming the slime's demonic evolution and boosted stats. Lin Tianhao orders the demonized slime to attack the testing machine. The slime launches itself at the machine with surprising speed and ferocity. The slime impacts the machine, creating a powerful explosion of energy. The resulting blast engulfs the testing machine in a wave of demonic energy. The digital display glitches wildly before settling on a final impossible number. A wave of red energy washes over the plaza as the testing machine short-circuits from the impact. The entire crowd, from the teacher to the students, stares in utter shock and confusion. Lin Tianhao watches calmly as his final score is revealed, a staggering 120 points. The students erupt in disbelief, unable to process how the class slacker surpassed everyone. Wang Dong seethes with rage, his pride shattered by the useless loser who just outscored him. The official sweats, recalling that even the legendary war god scored lower, and begins to suspect cheating. The crowd quickly turns on Lin Tianhao, accusing him of tampering with the machine to get his score. Lin Tianhao smirks, privately admitting he only tampered by using his unique talent on his summon. The teacher considers the accusations, admitting to himself that the student's suspicions are not unfounded. Lin Tianhao calmly faces his teacher, denying any accusations of cheating. All eyes turn to the testing machine as its screen glitches uncontrollably. A closer look reveals the display is completely fried, showing nothing but static. The teacher thoughtfully strokes his chin, piecing together a plausible explanation. He loudly announces to the crowd that the machine clearly malfunctioned, clearing Lin Tianhao's name. Wang Dong smugly accepts this explanation, unable to fathom being beaten by the class loser. But the other students protest, demanding that Lin Tianhao's initial pathetic score of 9 should be the one that counts. The teacher ignores them, voiding the result and offering a surprised Lin Tianhao a retest. The crowd erupts in protest, accusing the teacher of showing unfair favoritism. The senior official silences the mob, officially ending the test and scheduling a retake for everyone affected by the broken machine. Enraged by the decision, one of Wang Dong's lackeys steps forward to confront Lin Tianhao. But a single cold glare from Lin Tianhao is enough to silence the bully, who recoils in fear. Wang Dong sneers at Lin Tianhao, mocking his chances and calling his ambition a foolish dream. Deciding he's wasted enough time, the bully announces he's heading to the Level 1 Black Abyss. Lin Tianhao's eyes gleam, realizing the beginner dungeon is the perfect place to test his new power. He watches his rivals leave, a plan already forming to follow them to the dungeon. Meanwhile, technicians inspect the ruined machine, baffled that a student could cause such destruction. One of them studies the impact point, speculating that the school may have discovered a new prodigy. On his way out, Lin Tianhao is unexpectedly stopped by a peculiar elderly man. The old man cheerfully observes his build, remarking that he seems perfectly suited for the summoner class, leaving Lin Tianhao stunned. Lin Tianhao finds the old man's words strangely familiar. The old man offers him a top-tier summoner's staff for 300 gold. Lin Tianhao is shocked by the price, thinking it's a ripoff. The old man insists it's a bargain due to their destined meeting. Lin Tianhao senses a powerful energy emanating from the staff. He rationalizes the purchase, considering the lack of summoner equipment. He agrees to buy the staff, much to the old man's delight. Lin Tianhao realizes he's significantly short on funds. He sheepishly asks for a substantial discount. The old man accepts his 92 gold as a down payment. The old man clarifies the catch. The gold is just a deposit, and the real price is a treasure from the Level 1 Black Abyss. Lin Tianhao panics, realizing with dawning horror that he's just accepted a quest from a real-life NPC. He's handed a cryptic IOU, with the promise that its meaning will become clear in the dungeon's depths. The elder forcefully presses the issue, demanding a fingerprint to finalize their shady contract. With a single red thumbprint, the deal is officially and irrevocably sealed. The cheerful old man shoos him away, leaving a bewildered Lin Tianhao to contemplate his new debt. As he trudges off under a cloud of despair, his teacher approaches the mysterious man, addressing him as Elder Fang. The teacher explains the test was suspended and questions the elder's interest in his student. He pities Lin Tianhao's fate as a summoner, unaware of the boy's true potential or the elder's intentions. Elder Fang smirks knowingly, agreeing that the path forward will be difficult, but hinting at a hidden meaning. Lin Tianhao arrives at the imposing entrance to the Level 1 Dark Abyss, nestled in the frozen cold valley. He gazes up at the swirling purple vortex, the gateway to his first real challenge, A system window reveals the dungeon's rules, including a minimum party size of 3, foiling his plan to go solo. His attention shifts to the dungeon's speedrun leaderboard, a chance for glory and rewards. He learns that ranking first offers incredible rewards, with the top spot currently held by a Fang Changyun. The prize is a golden tier chest plate, a piece of powerful early game gear with significant stat boosts. The 120-point max HP bonus immediately catches his eye, making the top spot a crucial objective for his unique talent. His presence doesn't go unnoticed, as other adventurers recognize him as the low-scoring loser from the aptitude test. He turns to find a familiar, unwelcome group of adventurers approaching him. The trio, a classic warrior-mage-rogue party, sneers at him, telling the useless summoner to go home. He stares them down with a cold expression, completely unbothered by their mockery. The warrior, revealed to be the C-rank Wang Dong, and his 2 E-rank mage lackeys mock his solo attempt. He dismisses Lin Tianhao and begins recruiting, announcing his party of a C-rank warrior and 2 E-rank mages. Nearby adventurers immediately perk up, seeing the C-rank warrior as their ticket to a successful run. A crowd quickly gathers around the warrior's group, all clamoring for a spot on the team. Soaking in the adoration, he smugly points out 2 new recruits to fill his party roster. The new recruits boast about their leader's C-rank power, revealing his plan to aim for the dungeon's leaderboard. His new teammates are shocked by the goal, but eagerly promise not to slow him down on his leaderboard run. Their new party assembled, the group strides confidently toward the dungeon entrance, ready for their speed run. Just beyond the portal, the shattered bones of a skeleton lie scattered, a grim welcome to the dungeon's depths. Wang Dong's new recruits recoil in fear at the sight of the skeletal remains littering the dungeon floor. A veteran party member uses the grim scene to intimidate the newcomers, warning them to keep up or suffer the same fate. With his team properly motivated by fear, Wang Dong confidently leads them deeper into the abyss. Lin Tianhao watches them vanish into the portal, completely unfazed by being left behind. He correctly guesses Wang Dong's cruel plan to use the new recruits as disposable pawns. He recalls the high cost of resurrection, reinforcing his goal of a perfect, no-death dungeon clear. To attract a team, he displays his stats, revealing his S-rank talent and skill to the crowd. Hopeful adventurers are quickly dissuaded by their peers, who mock the idea of teaming up with a useless summoner. Despite his impressive rank, he's left standing alone as everyone else forms their parties around him. Just as all hope seems lost, 2 desperate-looking students cautiously approach him, clearly out of options. The first to approach is a young woman named Li Shui, an E-rank bard whose low talent makes her an undesirable teammate. He notes her weary expression, guessing she's been stranded here for days without a party. Seeing a fellow outcast, he directly offers her a spot on his team. She's stunned that the S-rank summoner would choose her, a low-tier support class. He extends a hand, explaining his ambition to hit the leaderboard and his need for a willing partner. Though she finds his goal unbelievable, she's swayed by his confidence and eagerly accepts his offer. With a handshake, the system confirms their new party as they formally introduce themselves. He confidently tells her that he'll handle all the fighting. Her only job is to stay safe. His protective words make her blush, and she promises not to be a burden. Now a team of 2, they just need 1 more member to enter the dungeon. A crowd of desperate adventurers clamors for the attention of someone they call a goddess. The object of their affection is Su Qing, an A-rank druidess, who is visibly annoyed by her fawning admirers. Lin Tianhao recognizes her as the campus belle, surprised to see the popular student without a party. Her gaze lands on him, and she recalls his reputation as the school's lowest-ranked student. To his bewilderment, the A-rank prodigy walks right up to him, considering an unlikely partnership. With a confident smile, she points directly at Lin Tianhao and declares her intention to join his team. Her rejected suitors erupt in rage while a stunned Lin Tianhao can only point to himself in confusion. She confirms her choice with a decisive nod, taking his hand and closing the distance between them. The spurned adventurers wail in despair as Lin Tianhao silently protests being blamed for the situation. Su Qing shoots a death glare at a persistent suitor, coldly telling him to get lost now that she has a team. With their unlikely party now complete, Su Qing declares it's time to enter the abyss. But Lin Tianhao stops her, demanding to know why an A-rank prodigy would choose his team. She reveals her true motive, to carry 2 low-rank players to the top of the leaderboard and silence her critics. Her blunt assessment leaves Lin Tianhao and Li Shui realizing they've just been called disposable baggage. Without waiting for a response, she strides toward the portal, impatiently telling them to keep up. Lin Tianhao grimaces at her arrogance, while a nervous Li Shui questions if their small, mismatched team can succeed. He reassures her that there's no one else, advising her to retreat if the dungeon proves too dangerous. Stepping through the portal, They find themselves in a frozen wasteland teeming with strange, burrowing creatures. The biting cold of the Cold Valley Abyss immediately hits them, causing the entire party to shiver. Lin Tianhao notes with frustration that even his specially purchased cold resistance gear is useless against the extreme temperature. The timid bard remembers she has a skill to combat the freezing temperatures. She strums her harp, weaving a melody of golden, protective magic. A warm aura envelops the party, earning the bard a nod of grudging respect from the druidess. With their new protection, the trio presses on, determined to conquer the leaderboard. But as they advance, a pair of menacing red eyes watches them from the shadows. Lin Tianhao's sharp senses immediately pick up on the hidden danger. A system window identifies their first foe, a level 1 corrupted wandering wolf. The massive corrupted beast emerges from the trees, towering over the small party. Unfazed, Suqing smirks, her hands morphing into sharp claws as blue energy crackles around her. She fully transforms, unleashing her powerful spirit cat beast form, ready for battle. Lin Tianhao watches in surprise, finally understanding the true power of a druidess's semi-beast transformation. In a blur of motion, Suqing dashes across the frozen landscape with incredible speed. She leaps into the air, her razor-sharp claws aimed directly at the corrupted wolf's head. A flurry of slashes tears through the beast, inflicting massive and continuous damage. Lin Tianhao and Li Shui watch in awe, noting her attacks also cause a bleeding effect. After the battle, Suqing offers the valuable monster drops to the bard, insisting she doesn't like owing favors. The flustered bard gratefully accepts the unexpected reward for her simple support spell. Standing over the defeated wolf, Suqing impatiently orders her 2 stunned teammates to keep moving. As they venture deeper, they discover an entire pack of corrupted wolves waiting for them. Unintimidated, the A-rank druidess charges forward, ready to take on the entire pack by herself. She unleashes a whirlwind of claws, effortlessly dispatching the entire wolf pack in a blur of motion. The battle takes its toll, and the proud druidess admits to herself that fighting multiple enemies is harder than she expected. The concerned bard offers a healing spell, but Suqing scoffs at its weakness, telling her to conserve her energy. Instead, she pulls out a small potion, opting for a quicker solution to her injuries. She downs the potion, and a wave of healing energy instantly restores her vitality. Lin Tianhao and the bard watch the display, with him looking particularly amused by the A-ranker's pride. With their tank fully healed, the mismatched party continues its trek through the frozen abyss. Lin Tianhao quietly observes his arrogant teammate, whose focus remains locked on the path ahead. Suddenly, Suqing's foot lands on a glowing purple sigil, activating a hidden trap. Pillars of dark energy erupt from the ground, ensnaring the entire party in a powerful magic formation. A massive stone hammer descends from above, catching the druidess completely off guard. The impact sends a shockwave of ice and snow across the battlefield, knocking Suqing off her feet. A system window reveals their new foe, a level 4 elite corrupted zombie summoned by the trap. The A-rank prodigy grits her teeth, realizing this unexpected elite monster will be a serious challenge. Lin Tianhao theorizes that her earlier rampage against the wolves has drawn the attention of this much stronger creature. Despite the danger, Suqing charges forward, her claws meeting the zombie's hammer in a flash of sparks. Her confidence shatters as she realizes the elite monster's speed far surpasses her own. The zombie unleashes a devastating ground slam, sending a wave of destructive energy toward her. The powerful blow leaves Suqing battered and unconscious, her prideful charge ending in defeat. As the zombie looms over their fallen teammate, a panicked Li Shui turns to Lin Tianhao, desperate for a plan. The corrupted zombie raises its hammer, preparing to deliver a crushing final blow to the downed druidess. But Lin Tianhao finally makes his move, thrusting his fist forward to summon his own demonic creature. A sinister red form materializes from the swirling mist, taking the shape of his demonized slime. The system reveals the slime's new terrifying stats, far surpassing its original pathetic form. He commands his newly empowered summon to unleash its ultimate skill, the Dance of the Demon. The slime launches a razor-sharp red tendril, intercepting the zombie's attack mid-swing. In a flash of red, the tendril wraps around Suqing, pulling her to safety just as the hammer descends. The zombie's powerful strike misses completely, smashing into the empty ground with furious force. The elite monster recoils in shock, unable to comprehend how its target vanished. Lin Tianhao coolly points out the monster's failure, drawing its attention to the empty crater. Lin Tianhao stands protectively before his party, his demonic slime looming menacingly behind him. He instructs the bard to heal their fallen druidess, confidently declaring he will handle the elite monster alone. The enraged zombie roars, turning its full attention and massive hammer toward its new challenger. With a sharp command, he orders his demonic summon to unleash a skill called Slime Spit. A powerful jet of red liquid erupts from the slime, blasting across the frozen ground. The demonized slime then launches itself into the air, soaring directly toward the elite zombie. Its body dissolves into a shower of smaller, weaponized red blobs, raining down on its target. The zombie is caught completely off guard by the relentless barrage of demonic projectiles. Each blob strikes with piercing force, riddling the elite monster's body with damage. The zombie is sent staggering backward, overwhelmed by the powerful Dance of the Demon skill. He assesses the battle, realizing the zombie's high defense is reducing his slime's damage by half. The demonic projectiles begin to visibly corrode the elite monster's tough exterior. Lin Tianhao's eyes widen as he discovers his slime's secret weapon, a powerful melting effect. The enraged zombie retaliates, swinging its massive hammer in a desperate counterattack. With a new strategy in mind, Lin Tianhao's expression hardens with cold resolve. He commands his summon to combine its skills, targeting the monster's ankle with a corrosive strike. A jet of demonic liquid shoots across the snow, aimed precisely at the zombie's weak point. The corrosive slime latches onto the monster's leg, its flesh beginning to dissolve on contact. The zombie's pained expression confirms the new strategy is a resounding success. With its leg completely destroyed, the elite monster crashes to the ground, utterly defeated. While the battle rages, the bard diligently plays her harp, casting a healing spell on their fallen druidess. Suging awakens, her eyes wide with disbelief as she witnesses the useless summoner's true power. The A-rank prodigy is left speechless, completely stunned by the overwhelming strength on display. Lin Tianhao's sharp eyes pinpoint the monster's weak point, realizing its lower body is far more vulnerable. He commands his summon to press the advantage, targeting the monster's now exposed lower half. With a malevolent grin, the demonized slime unleashes another devastating barrage of its corrosive attack. The elite monster is completely submerged, its tough hide dissolving under the relentless assault. The slime's corrosive power melts away flesh and bone, leaving the zombie utterly defenseless. A system window confirms the kill, rewarding him with a massive EXP boost and a pile of valuable loot. The huge experience gain instantly propels him to level 2, a reward for defeating a much stronger foe. The bard wonders if all summoners are this powerful, but the druidess clarifies that it's Lin Tianhao's strength, not his class. Suging's mind races, realizing his terrifying intellect and judgment were key to defeating the elite monster alone. Lin Tianhao approaches the stunned druidess to check on her, causing her to blush in surprise. She tries to downplay her injuries, insisting there's no need to make a fuss over a minor wound. The bard interjects, explaining that her healing chant is too slow and they need to stop and rest. But the proud druidess struggles to her feet, refusing to rest while they're aiming for the leaderboard. She insists she can still fight and orders them to keep moving, despite her obvious injuries. She takes a wobbly step forward, trying to push through the pain and exhaustion. Lin Tianhao catches her as she stumbles, bluntly asking how she can compete if she gets herself killed. Defeated, she finally agrees to rest, while he points out a nearby cave where they can spend the night. The party finds shelter for the night, a warm fire glowing from within a frozen cave. Lin Tianhao sets up camp and volunteers for the first watch, letting his injured teammates rest. Exhausted from using her magic, the bard instantly falls into a deep sleep. The druidess watches in amusement as her teammate passes out almost immediately. He tells the proud A-ranker to get some rest as well, preparing to stand guard outside. But she stops him, her pride giving way to a flustered but sincere thank you for saving her life. She quickly gets defensive, insisting she's not the type to forget a favor while avoiding his gaze. Overcome with embarrassment, she buries herself in her sleeping bag, telling him to forget she said anything. He smirks, recognizing her prickly exterior hides a more honest and grateful heart. But as he stands watch, the druidess peeks out, secretly watching the boy who completely shattered her expectations. The next morning, Lin Tianhao realizes the elite monster kill pushed him to level 3 and decides to check his new stats. A system window confirms his impressive stat growth, a new skill, and an extra slot for another summon. He analyzes his new skill, Fully Armed, realizing it's a powerful buff that boosts all his summon's attributes. His new 1200 HP gives him just enough fuel to level his slime 4 more times with his sacrifice ability. Without hesitation, he converts 400 of his own health into raw power for his creature. His max HP plummets, but his demon slime grows even more menacing with the infusion of power. The slime's stats skyrocket to level 7, and it even learns a brand new skill, Split. He studies the new ability, curious to see how the slime's clones will function in battle. With a confident grin, he orders his demonic pet to demonstrate its newfound power. The slime instantly divides, spawning a smaller, identical copy of itself from its own body. He now commands 2 menacing demonic slimes, a perfect copy of the original. With a sharp command, he focuses his will, pushing the new ability to its limits. The demonic energy swirls violently as the creature's form divides into two separate entities. His gaze sharpens, carefully observing the results of his powerful new skill. A system window confirms the clone perfectly mirrors the original's stats, though it cannot use the split skill itself. He analyzes the trade-off, noting the clone's stats come at a cost to the original's own attributes. The system reveals the skill's major drawback, a very short duration of only 3 minutes. He clenches his fist in frustration, realizing 3 minutes isn't enough time for a prolonged battle. But then a sudden realization dawns on him, a new strategy forming in his mind. His moment of inspiration is cut short as he senses an unexpected disturbance nearby. He looks out from the cave, sensing his teammates are in immediate danger. Without a second thought, he sprints towards the commotion outside. He finds his party cornered by a massive, shadowy beast with menacing red eyes. Lin Tianhao steps forward, commanding his demonic slime to unleash its slime spit attack. A jet of corrosive red liquid shoots across the snow, aimed directly at the towering monster. The attack lands, but a system window reveals it only dealt a pathetic 25 points of damage. He stares in disbelief, shocked by how little damage his powerful summon inflicted. A system window identifies their foe as a level 8 giant snow rabbit, confirming his fears. The druidess and bard despair, realizing the 6th-level gap makes this fight seem hopeless. The monstrous rabbit roars, its glowing red eyes locking onto its new targets. The giant rabbit leaps into the air, preparing to crush Lin Tianhao with its immense weight. A terrified Suqing screams a warning, fearing for his safety. But Lin Tianhao remains completely calm, dismissing the powerful beast as just a rabbit. He commands his slime to unleash its Dance of the Demon skill once more. The rabbit charges through the barrage of red projectiles, completely unfazed by the attack. The demonic projectiles swirl around the beast but fail to slow its relentless advance. The slime's attack proves utterly ineffective, splattering uselessly against the ground. The demonized slime looks up in shock as the rabbit's massive fist descends upon it. A powerful blow sends the slime flying, crashing into the cave wall with explosive force. The rabbit's punch connects squarely, overwhelming the demonic summon with sheer power. The slime is completely overwhelmed by the rabbit's raw power, sent flying backwards from the force of the blow. It ricochets off the cave walls like a pinball, taking significant damage with every collision. Lin Tianhao quickly changes tactics, ordering his summon to retreat and prepare a new combination attack. The slime unleashes another corrosive strike, but the rabbit easily dodges the attack mid-air. He notes the rabbit's incredible agility, realizing its speed makes it a difficult target to hit. His teammates watch in horror as Suqing explains this monster is infamous for wiping out entire parties. The druidess is baffled by the unprovoked attack, as they hadn't trespassed on the rabbit's territory. The nervous bard suggests they intervene, seeing that the slime's attacks are completely ineffective. Lin Tianhao grits his teeth in frustration, realizing the rabbit's relentless assault interrupted his ultimate skill. A system window confirms his worst fears. His most powerful skill is now on a lengthy cooldown. He urgently commands his slime to retreat, trying to save it from the rabbit's onslaught. The rabbit unleashes a furious barrage of blows, overwhelming the slime with a flurry of purple energy. Seeing the summon taking a beating, the brave bard decides she must intervene. The druidess tries to stop her, but the determined bard rushes forward into the fray. She hurls a rock at the monster, hoping to draw its attention and create a diversion. The small projectile successfully angers the giant rabbit, which now turns its focus to her. Its eyes glow with fury as it locks onto its new, much smaller target. The bard immediately regrets her decision, her face pale with terror. The enraged rabbit charges, ready to crush the person who dared to challenge it. In a moment of sheer panic, she throws a carrot at the beast, her only available weapon. The rabbit's charge halts as it catches the carrot, its glowing red eye fixed on the unexpected snack. In a flash, the monster shrinks into a small, fluffy bunny, happily munching on the vegetable. The party realizes the creature was just hungry, while the bard blushes, embarrassed by her choice of rations. She explains the carrots were for the team, just as the sated rabbit transforms back into its giant, menacing form. The beast lunges again, forcing a panicked Li Shui to toss out more carrots to keep it at bay. Lin Tianhao's expression hardens, realizing they must lure the rabbit and defeat it before their bait runs out. He shouts a new command, telling the bard to throw her entire bag of carrots to the druidess. Following his orders, Li Shui hurls the sack of vegetables toward a very confused Suqing. The A-rank prodigy catches the bag, still trying to process the bizarre turn of events. The giant rabbit immediately turns its attention to the new target, looming over Suqing and her bag of treats. The druidess glares at Lin Tianhao, demanding to know what he's thinking. She leaps away, using her incredible agility to narrowly dodge the rabbit's furious swipe. He calmly watches the chase, revealing his simple but deadly intention for the beast. With a confident smirk, he declares their goal is to take the monster down for good. The enraged rabbit roars and gives chase, its eyes glowing with purple fury. Subing is shocked by the beast's incredible speed as it closes the distance between them. She glances back, anxiously urging Lin Tianhao to hurry up with his part of the plan. He points to a narrow crevice in the cliffside, shouting his instructions for the trap. A look of realization dawns on her face and she smirks, finally understanding his strategy. As she leads the beast into the narrow pass, his demonic slime springs into action from the shadows. The druidess digs her claws into the ground, bracing herself as the furious rabbit closes in. She sprints into the narrow canyon, successfully luring the massive beast into the confined space. A determined glint in her eyes shows she has complete faith in Lin Tianhao's plan. The giant rabbit smashes its fist into the canyon wall, its large size making it clumsy in the tight pass. Its head becomes wedged between the rocks, leaving the powerful monster completely stuck and vulnerable. Seeing his trap sprung, Lin Tianhao signals that it's his slime's time to shine. From above, the demonized slime strikes the immobilized rabbit with a corrosive tendril. The monster roars in pain as it's bombarded by a relentless volley of demonic projectiles. Lin Tianhao smirks, ordering his summon to unleash its full power with a combination of skills. The rabbit is caught in a pincer attack as a second slime appears, trapping it between two corrosive barrages. The trapped rabbit stares in terror as the demonic slime closes in for the final assault. With a malevolent grin, the demonized slime unleashes its full corrosive power on the helpless monster. A flurry of damage numbers confirms the relentless attack is melting away the rabbit's health. A system window announces the kill, rewarding him with a hefty chunk of experience for his efforts. Lin Tianhao reflects on the battle, concerned that his powerful summon struggled against a single lower-level beast. He identifies a critical weakness in his strategy. His slime's area attacks are ineffective against strong individual foes. His victory is cut short as an enraged Suqing stomps over, furious that he used her as live bait. He casually compliments her speed, a backhanded apology that leaves the proud druidess blushing and speechless. Subin redirects her frustration to the bard, scolding her for attracting the beast with her bizarre choice of rations. But as the bard packs away the offending vegetables, Lin Tianhao stops her, a new plan sparking in his mind. He calculates the massive EXP gain, realizing these rabbits are their ticket to leveling up quickly. He explains they must reach level 4 to even attempt fighting the dungeon's level 10 final boss. He calculates that with their current levels, they'll need to defeat 5 more rabbits to be ready. The bard voices her doubt, remembering how they barely survived their encounter with a single rabbit. With a confident smirk, he declares that this time they will be the hunters, not the prey. The druidess agrees, seeing this as the perfect strategy to speed up their leaderboard run. They waste no time, placing a single carrot at the cave entrance to bait their next target. The bait works perfectly as a new snow rabbit cautiously approaches, drawn in by the carrot. Hiding behind a rock, the trio watches with grim satisfaction as their plan unfolds. As the rabbit takes the bait, Lin Tianhao and the druidess spring their ambush, their eyes glowing with battle intent. 3 hours have passed in the frozen abyss. The team celebrates reaching level 4, a milestone achieved through strategic hunting. Lin Tianhao checks their dungeon timer. 5 hours have already elapsed. Li Shu is impressed by their rapid progress, comparing it to the leaderboard's top time. The bard wonders if they can beat the current record, sparking a discussion about the final boss. Lin Tianhao explains the boss's mechanics and their current disadvantage. He estimates a 2-hour fight based on their current setup. Liege worries about their next move, prompting a strategic discussion. Suging suggests a short rest to recover and prepare for the final encounter. Lin Tianhao agrees to the break, prioritizing the team's condition for the upcoming challenge. He checks his slime's new stats, noting the disappointing lack of new skills and only a minor power increase. With his summon's power plateauing, he can only hope the final boss isn't as brutal as he fears. Suddenly, a massive tremor shakes the cavern, interrupting their rest. The entire party is jolted to attention, their faces filled with alarm and confusion. Without hesitation, the 3 adventurers rush out of the cave to investigate the commotion. They're met with a blinding celestial light, revealing the silhouette of a magnificent winged creature. Lin Tianhao stares intently, trying to identify the mysterious being before them. A system window reveals their unexpected foe, a level 10 hidden boss, the Unicorn, guardian of the Abyss. His confidence shatters as he realizes they've stumbled upon a mythical and powerful hidden boss. He assesses the situation, realizing that while finding a hidden boss is lucky, this one is far stronger than the zombie they were expecting. The mythical beast's eye flares with celestial energy, its horn radiating a prismatic light. A tendril of pure energy escapes its nostril, signaling the start of its magical influence. His eyes become hypnotic spirals, falling completely under the unicorn's powerful spell. The summoner is completely captivated by the boss's beauty, while his demonic slime tries to get his attention. Seeing its master in a trance, the demonic slime lunges forward to intervene. It sinks its teeth into his leg, a sharp jolt of pain meant to break the enchantment. The sudden pain shatters the illusion, bringing him back to his senses with a pained expression. He glares down at his summon, demanding an explanation for the sudden attack. He then realizes his teammates have also fallen victim to the unicorn's hypnotic allure. Both women, completely entranced, begin to walk forward as if in a dream. He springs into action, pulling his entranced teammates back from the brink of danger. They tumble to the ground as the unicorn's hypnotic spell finally shatters. Subing questions the mythical beast's appearance, as they were expecting a zombie leader. She theorizes their rabbit-hunting spree summoned this powerful guardian of life. The bard points out the flaw in her logic, wondering why the undead they killed didn't trigger the same response. The druidess recalls the dungeon's original path, which should have led to a much weaker final boss. She grimly concludes the unicorn's power is on another level, and their chances of survival are slim. Overcome with fear, the tearful bard asks if they can simply escape the unwinnable fight. Lin Tianhao calmly explains that escape is impossible. Their actions have already marked them as targets. The bard despairs, realizing their clever leveling strategy has led them to a far deadlier fate. He places a reassuring hand on the terrified bard's shoulder, steadying her trembling form. Lin Tianhao credits her for their record-breaking pace, declaring they only need to defeat the boss to win. He dismisses the mythical creature with false bravado, his expression hardening with grim determination. Standing as a shield before his teammates, he silently vows to keep them both safe from harm. The proud druidess scoffs, masking her own fear with arrogance and warning them not to slow her down. Moved by their sudden display of courage, the bard offers a grateful smile, her resolve strengthened. The unicorn unleashes its power, its horn glowing as it prepares to charge the small party. Its attack forces the team to scatter, the beast having locked onto their exact position. A system window confirms the unicorn is using a skill called Horn Thrust, aiming to impale its targets. The powerful strike slams into the ground, narrowly missing the adventurers as they leap to safety. The mythical beast soars into the sky, its silhouette framed by the chasm walls. Lin Tianhao urgently commands his team to disperse, sensing the incoming danger. A massive explosion of celestial energy erupts where the unicorn's horn strikes the ground. The party successfully scatters, narrowly avoiding the devastating impact. The unicorn rears back, its horn glowing as it prepares to unleash another powerful ability. A system window reveals its next move, a soul-cleansing melody designed to pacify its foes. Lin Tianhao clutches his head, fighting the disorienting effects of the spell while worrying for the bard. But Li Shui counters, playing a complex hymn that purifies, weakens, and buffs the party all at once. Her soothing melody envelops the unicorn, the magical notes calming the enraged beast. The mighty hidden boss lets out a massive yawn, its fury giving way to an overwhelming drowsiness. Enraged by the lullaby, the unicorn unleashes a powerful beast hoof stomp, aiming to crush the bard. The bard's face fills with terror as the massive hoof descends, threatening to end her life. But the druidess intercepts, grabbing the unicorn's horn to halt its deadly attack. Her claws dig into the frozen ground as she braces herself against the mythical beast's immense power. With a surge of strength, she shoves the unicorn back, successfully deflecting its powerful blow. A confident smirk spreads across her face as she goads the powerful beast into fighting her directly. The unicorn roars in fury, its glowing eyes locking onto the defiant druidess. Su Xing charges forward, ready to take on the hidden boss while the bard scrambles to safety. The unicorn counters with a powerful swing of its horn, sending the druidess flying with a flick of its tail. Sent tumbling through the air, she grimly realizes the true overwhelming power of the hidden boss. Lin Tianhao screams a desperate warning as he sees the unicorn's next move. But it's too late. The mythical beast's horn connects, delivering a devastating blow to the airborne druidess. Su Xing's eyes widen in shock and pain, her confident charge ending in a brutal takedown. The horrified bard can only watch as her teammate is thrown to the ground, defeated and unmoving. She rushes to Su Qing's side, trying to wake her as the victorious unicorn radiates with celestial power. With his party's tank down, Lin Tianhao's expression darkens as he summons his demonic creature. His eyes burn with cold fury, declaring it's now his turn to face the hidden boss. A system window reveals his slime has leveled up to level 9, its stats boosted for the coming fight. The unicorn senses the new threat, its glowing red eye locking onto the summoner. Without hesitation, the demonized slime lunges forward, aiming a corrosive strike at the mythical beast's head. The demonized slime glares with furious intent, preparing to unleash its full power. A powerful jet of corrosive liquid erupts from the summon, striking the unicorn with devastating force. The bard watches in disbelief as the supposedly unbeatable hidden boss is overwhelmed by the demonic slime. Lin Tianhao realizes his summon's dark attribute is the unicorn's critical weakness, giving them an unexpected advantage. With newfound confidence, he commands his creature to press the attack and not let up. Another volley of demonic projectiles streaks through the air, aimed directly at the wounded beast. The unicorn cries out in agony as the corrosive slime melts away its celestial form. The relentless assault sends the mythical creature crashing to the ground, its power fading fast. Beaten and overwhelmed, the unicorn turns to flee, soaring into the sky to escape its tormentor. Lin Tianhao's eyes narrow with cold resolve, refusing to let his valuable prize get away. He orders his summon to combine its skills, unleashing a final devastating assault. The demonized slime dissolves into a torrent of corrosive liquid, ready to strike. It morphs into a massive, grinning projectile, a manifestation of pure demonic power. Razor-sharp tendrils pierce the sky, successfully striking the fleeing mythical beast. The demonic summon relentlessly pursues the unicorn, closing in for the final blow. A powerful corrosive blast slams into the unicorn, tearing through its celestial defenses. Lin Tianhao praises his summon as the corrosive effect takes hold of the hidden boss. The mighty unicorn crashes to the ground, its defeat sending a shockwave across the chasm. Engulfed in a cloud of dust, the defeated beast lies motionless on the frozen ground. But suddenly the unicorn's body begins to glow, radiating a powerful, prismatic energy. Lin Tianhao urgently warns his teammate as a piercing sound erupts from the glowing beast. The unicorn unleashes a vortex of celestial energy, intending to obliterate everything in its path. Thinking fast, Lin Tianhao commands his summon to dodge and activate its newly acquired split ability. The slime intercepts the unicorn's charge, its body dividing to absorb the powerful impact. The mythical beast's horn is caught as the slime's body splits open, trapping it mid-attack. The unicorn finds itself surrounded by a swarm of smaller demonic slimes, the result of the successful split. A system window reveals the boss is attempting a storming charge to break free from the trap. With his powerful buff skill about to expire, Lin Tianhao orders his clones to unleash a final corrosive assault. The demonic clones glare with malice, preparing to dissolve their powerful trapped foe. The unicorn is overwhelmed by the corrosive barrage, its celestial body melting under the relentless attack. The unicorn's celestial form is consumed by the demonic slime's final, overwhelming attack. The mythical beast cries out in agony as the slime's corrosive body dissolves its very being. Its powerful hooves crumble and disintegrate, unable to withstand the relentless demonic assault. The hidden boss is completely helpless, its life force draining away under the corrosive onslaught. A system window warns that the unicorn's fatal injuries have triggered a dangerous, frenzied state. Lin Tianhao realizes the tide has turned, ordering his summon to retreat from the berserk boss. The relentless attack leaves the unicorn grievously wounded and collapsed on the frozen ground. Believing the fight is over, he turns away just as his slime moves in for the final blow. But the unicorn's eye flares with renewed fury, signaling its last desperate counterattack. A bead of sweat rolls down his face as he realizes his fatal miscalculation. He stands over the fallen beast, confused by its sudden stillness. A bead of sweat forms as his eyes dart down, sensing something is terribly wrong. He notices small, glowing plants sprouting from the corrosive slime around the unicorn's body. An impatient Sujing urges him to stop hesitating and finish the fight. As the bard offers to help, he holds her back, his face etched with alarm. Refusing to wait, the druidess leaps forward to deliver the final blow herself. His eyes widen in dawning horror as he realizes the true nature of the beast. Suging lands triumphantly, holding the unicorn's glowing core in her hand. The defeated mythical creature lets out a pitiful cry, its life force fading. But Subing recoils in shock, sensing a new and immediate danger from the fallen boss. Subing's face twists in horror as she realizes the mythical beast is weeping. A brilliant column of green energy erupts from the ground, signaling a terrifying transformation. The entire party recoils, overwhelmed by a piercing sound and blinding light. The cavern begins to crumble as the ground shatters under the immense pressure. Lin Tianhao looks up in alarm as a massive, dark, seed-like object plummets towards him. Thinking fast, he issues a desperate command for his summon to intercept the falling threat. The demonized slime lunges forward, its body expanding to engulf the mysterious object. With a furious expression, the slime strains to contain the immense power radiating from the seed. The corrupted seed is slowly absorbed into the slime's corrosive form, its dark energy being suppressed. A confident smirk appears on Lin Tianhao's face as his summon successfully neutralizes the danger. Lin Tianhao realizes the entire cavern is collapsing around them, threatening to crush the party. The druidess urgently calls for him to get to safety as the ground crumbles beneath their feet. The terrified bard cries out as a massive boulder plummets directly towards her. But the druidess springs into action, leaping to intercept the deadly projectile with fierce determination. She unleashes a powerful, glowing strike, shattering the immense rock into pieces. The remnants of the boulder crash harmlessly to the ground, a testament to her incredible strength. The demonic slime expands, creating a protective shield as the party questions the sudden collapse. Lin Tianhao calmly explains that the Guardian's death has destabilized the entire dimension. His expression shifts to one of horror as he realizes the true, catastrophic consequence of their victory. The corrupted seed, now free, hurtles down from the sky, threatening to unleash its dark power. In a desperate gambit, he shouts a command for his slime to use its split ability to protect the unicorn. The demonic summon responds instantly, its eyes glowing with malevolent obedience. It lunges forward, not to attack, but to shield the fallen mythical beast from the corrupted seed. The slime's body expands, creating a living, corrosive barrier over the unicorn's form. But his true intention is revealed as the slime looms over the now-trapped creature with a sinister grin. The summon lets out a triumphant chirp, confirming the success of its master's deceptive plan. Without warning, the slime turns on the unicorn, its corrosive form engulfing the helpless beast. The mythical creature cries out as its celestial body is finally dissolved by the demonic assault. As the dust settles, the bard notices the cavern has miraculously stopped collapsing around them. The party cautiously approaches the unicorn's remains, ready to investigate the strange aftermath of the battle. The druidess stares in confusion, unable to comprehend the sudden turn of events. He explains that the unicorn's blood possesses healing properties, which is why the cavern stopped collapsing. Lin Tianhao leans in closer, carefully examining the mythical beast's strange condition. The impatient druidess urges him to finish the job, but he stops her, insisting they must wait. Furious, she confronts him, demanding to know why he keeps interfering with the final blow. But the bard agrees with him, sensing that something is fundamentally wrong with the situation. She recalls the unicorn's final moments, wondering if it was trying to communicate a warning. Lin Tianhao's expression hardens as he pieces together the puzzle, understanding the beast's true intent. Suddenly, the unicorn thrashes violently, its body contorting in immense pain. The sudden movement sends both the druidess and the bard flying, caught completely off guard by its pained outburst. The furious druidess insists they can't wait any longer and must kill the beast immediately. But Lin Tianhao grabs her arm, his expression serious as he urges her to stop. She angrily repeats that they have no time, her patience wearing dangerously thin. Suddenly, the unicorn's body splits open, revealing something hidden within. The creature's form continues to part, pushing out a new shape from its core. Lin Tianhao realizes there's something inside its belly as a smaller horn emerges. The druidess stares in utter disbelief, her mind struggling to process the impossible sight. A small, radiant unicorn emerges from the fallen beast, glowing with pure energy. The newborn creature looks up at the stunned druidess, surrounded by a sudden bloom of life. Believing it's a reincarnation, she powers up, determined to end the fight before it can recover. But Lin Tianhao steps in her way, blocking her path with his body. He grabs her arm, forcefully stopping her from delivering the final blow. His eyes narrow with intense focus, revealing a completely different plan. Ignoring her protests, he slices his own hand, drawing blood for a forbidden ritual. He channels his life force into his blood, preparing to form a pact. A single drop of his blood lands perfectly on the newborn unicorn's horn. The blood glows, sealing a magical bond between the summoner and the mythical beast. The druidess struggles against his grip, questioning his actions as life energy surrounds the creature. A system window confirms the impossible. He has successfully formed a contract with the hidden boss. Both his teammates can only stare in utter disbelief, their minds reeling from the shocking turn of events. Lin Tianhao's gaze hardens as he processes the gravity of his audacious move. A brilliant beam of light erupts from the newborn, striking him directly. The energy converges on his forehead, branding him with the mark of his new summon. A system window reveals the juvenile unicorn's stats, confirming its high agility but low initial power. He stands over his new mythical summon, which glows softly amidst a field of light particles. The small creature rises to its feet, its form radiating with pure, untamed energy. A confident smirk spreads across his face as he confirms his theory about the mother's protective instincts. He realizes with a jolt of excitement that he now commands a second, powerful summoned beast. His teammates look around in confusion, wondering where the mythical creature has disappeared to. Suddenly, the cavern trembles once more as the newborn unicorn unleashes a wave of vibrant green energy. The ground shatters and splits apart as the entire cavern begins to collapse. The druidess urgently tells her teammates to run for their lives as the dimension crumbles around them. But Lin Tianhao calmly kneels, promising to protect his new vulnerable summon. As the unicorn vanishes, a system window appears, signaling the end of their dungeon run. A system window details their impressive loot, including a forgeable horn and a treasure chest. He stares at the reward screen, a bead of sweat forming as his slime peeks over his shoulder. The system confirms they've shattered the dungeon record, and the leaderboard is updating. Despite their victory, his expression is one of pure dread, hinting at an unseen problem. His teammates call out to him from a distance, urging him to join them in a new, fiery dimension. He takes a determined step forward, ready to face whatever comes next. He's sent tumbling backward by the collapsing cavern, his demonic slime following close behind. His horrified teammates scream his name, powerless to stop his fall. Despite the chaos, he remains eerily calm, surrounded by the falling debris of the collapsing dimension. A system window materializes before him, offering a timely escape from the crumbling dungeon. Without a moment's hesitation, he decisively accepts the system's offer to exit. A burst of blue, pixelated energy marks his sudden departure from the crumbling abyss. The teleportation effect envelops his teammates as well, pulling them from the brink of disaster. The entire party is whisked away, their forms dissolving into a stream of digital particles. The bard clutches her instrument, expressing her sheer relief after narrowly escaping certain doom. They materialize back at the dungeon entrance, where the druidess calls out to a stunned Lin Tianhao. Suging attempts to calm the shaken summoner, who seems lost in his thoughts. Meanwhile, a crowd of adventurers notices a shocking update to the dungeon leaderboard. The dungeon portal swirls with energy as the crowd anticipates the arrival of the new record holders. A rival party immediately confronts them, questioning if they're the ones who broke the dungeon record. The rival adventurers mockingly dismiss them, assuming they were kicked out of the dungeon instead of clearing it. The insult sends the druidess into a rage, forcing her teammates to hold her back. His attention is suddenly drawn back to the portal as another, more imposing party emerges. The leader of the newly arrived party smirks, recognizing Lin Tianhao's group immediately. With a menacing grin, the man taunts Lin Tianhao, mockingly acknowledging his exit from the dungeon. The rival leader strides forward, openly mocking him and assuming he was forcibly ejected for failing. The rival party members try to poach the druidess, questioning why she's with a supposed loser. Sugan glares back with fury, telling the arrogant adventurers to get lost. Lin Tianhao steps forward, his expression dark as he warns them not to be so shameless. The druidess pulls the bard closer, creating a united front against the hostile party. The rival leader gets in Lin Tianhao's face, taunting him about the supposed gap in their power. Lin Tianhao lets out a soft, unimpressed laugh, completely unfazed by the threat. With a confident smirk, he challenges the rival to look again and see what gap he's talking about. Enraged by the comeback, the rival grabs his collar, screaming in his face. Suddenly, system windows appear around the crowd, announcing an update to the dungeon rankings. The rival's face twists in shock as he reads the new leaderboard, which now lists Lin Tianhao in first place. The rival leader screams in utter disbelief, his face contorted with shock. He struggles to process the impossible news that Lin Tianhao has taken the top spot. Lin Tianhao calmly looks down, his quiet confidence a stark contrast to the rival's meltdown. The system window officially confirms the new ranking, displaying Lin Tianhao's name in first place. A murmur spreads through the crowd as they realize the long-reigning champion has been dethroned. The rivals' party immediately resorts to accusations, refusing to believe their leader was beaten fairly. His subordinate furiously accuses Lin Tianhao of cheating, just as he did in the school exam. Doubt begins to poison the crowd as other adventurers question the legitimacy of the new record. Lin Tianhao coldly dismisses the accusation, pointing out the absurdity of cheating the dungeon's sacred leaderboard. The rival leader's angry retort is cut short as he turns to confront an unseen person who dared to interrupt. The rival leader freezes, sweat beading on his face as he recognizes the newcomer. A new elite party emerges, their high levels and talents displayed for all to see. The crowd murmurs in awe, identifying the legendary Murong siblings and their golden divine lion group. Lin Tianhao watches with a curious expression, unfamiliar with the famous Murong family name. The siblings, Murong Yu and Murong Shui, both possess A-rank talents and powerful titles. He recalls that elite families typically use exclusive portals, not the public abyss entrance. His own party observes as he considers that some elites slum it with common adventurers. The Murong party strides past, leaving Lin Tianhao to wonder about their purpose here. The humiliated rival leader quickly changes his tune, attempting to introduce himself to Murong Shui. She walks past him without a single glance, leaving him utterly rejected and speechless. The rival's subordinate furiously confronts Murong Shui for ignoring his leader in favor of Lin Tianhao. She glances back with cold disdain, expressing her disappointment in the quality of holy warriors. Her sharp remark sends the subordinate into a sputtering, incoherent rage. The rival leader quickly intervenes, silencing his subordinate before he causes more trouble. The subordinate tries to save face, insisting Lin Tianhao must have used tricks to get the top rank. Defeated, the rival leader retreats with a parting threat, promising a future showdown. The druidess watches them leave with contempt, glad the annoying party is finally gone. But the elite party leader, Murong Yu, turns his full attention to Lin Tianhao with a knowing smile. He extends a hand for a handshake, leaving Lin Tianhao to wonder about his true intentions. Murong Yu's sister scoffs at his hesitation, chiding him for not immediately accepting her brother's gesture. Murong Yu playfully chides his sister, trying to de-escalate her aggressive tone. Lin Tianhao offers an awkward greeting, clearly overwhelmed by the sudden attention from the elite party. Before he can react further, the druidess suddenly grabs his hand and pulls him back. Su Qing steps between them, angrily asserting that Lin Tianhao is already part of her team. Murong Yu's friendly demeanor vanishes, replaced by a dark smile as he tells her to step aside. Refusing to be intimidated, the druidess tries to lead her party away from the confrontation. But Murong Jue blocks their path, making it clear that they won't let Lin Tianhao leave. The crowd realizes the Murong family wants to recruit the record-breaking summoner for their own ambitions. Su Qing stands her ground, determined not to lose the key to her own leaderboard victory. A member of the Murong party steps forward, insisting that they will be taking Lin Tianhao with them. The crowd murmurs, acknowledging the Murong party's overwhelming power and high-level members. The bard looks to Lin Tianhao with worry, questioning if he'll abandon them for the elite team. Su Qing scoffs, absolutely certain he wouldn't dare betray their party. But Murong Shui steps forward, telling the druidess she has no right to decide for him. Murong Yu makes his formal offer, inviting the record-breaking summoner to join his prestigious team. A system window appears before Lin Tianhao, presenting the official invitation to join the Golden Divine Lion. The druidess tries to refuse on his behalf, her protective instincts flaring up. But Lin Tianhao cuts her off with a simple, unexpected answer, his expression unreadable. His teammates are left completely stunned, their faces a mask of shock and disbelief. A confident smirk spreads across Lin Tianhao's face as he calmly confirms his shocking decision. The furious druidess confronts him, demanding to know what he just said. The heartbroken bard can only stare in confusion, her hand covering her mouth in disbelief. Murong Yu claps his hands together, smugly praising the summoner's supposedly wise decision. The elite leader gestures towards the system window, urging him to finalize the invitation. Lin Tianhao's hand hovers over the system prompt, poised to make his choice between accepting or declining. Su Qing screams in protest, desperately trying to stop him from abandoning their team. Murong Yu's confident smile tightens as he pitches the idea of them breaking records together. But in a shocking twist, his finger decisively presses the decline button, stunning his teammates. The elite siblings are furious, with Murong Jue stepping forward to demand an explanation for the rejection. Lin Tianhao smirks, revealing his true play. He'll consider their offer, but only if they agree to his conditions first. Murong Shui furiously reminds him that their offer is a privilege he shouldn't take for granted. Murong Yu calls his bluff, turning away with his sister as if to leave. Intrigued, the elite leader stops and asks to hear the summoner's demands. A sly grin spreads across Lin Tianhao's face as he assures them his terms are minor. He lays out his 3 outrageous conditions: absolute command, all the experience, and every single item drop. The elite party erupts in outrage, completely stunned by his audacity. The crowd murmurs, realizing the genius of his power play, which puts the Murong family in an impossible position. With his arms crossed, he confidently asks for their decision, ready to join if they accept his terms. Murong Yu's party protests furiously, while their leader's face darkens under the pressure of the decision. The druidess watches him with a newfound respect, realizing he has completely turned the tables on the elites. The druidess smirks, taunting the elite party for being unable to accept his terms. The crowd murmurs, impressed by his courage to defy the powerful Murong family. An enraged member of the Murong party steps forward, threatening to teach him a lesson. But the elite leader holds his subordinate back, reminding him of their true purpose. Murong Yu turns back with a sly smile, questioning why Lin Tianhao is toying with them. Lin Tianhao calmly states his dislike for powerful people who try to bully others into joining them. The elite siblings glare, their patience clearly worn thin by his defiance. Murong Yu's expression turns menacing as he delivers a chilling warning not to get complacent with his top rank. With his parting threat delivered, the elite leader turns to leave with his party. The druidess waves them off with a triumphant smirk, glad to be rid of the arrogant elites. Murong Shui glares with fury, vowing to remember his name while he stretches triumphantly in the background. Unfazed, he relaxes and plans their next 2 dungeon runs to reach level 10. But his casual mood is broken by a sudden, eerie feeling of dread. His furious teammates corner him, accusing him of tricking them into thinking he would betray them. He panics, desperately trying to explain his actions to the enraged duo. A distant scream echoes across the snowy landscape, signaling his punishment. Left bruised on the ground, he watches his teammates leave to restock supplies. A system window appears, displaying a cooldown timer of over an hour before their next entry. He sits up, nursing his injuries and lamenting his teammates' harsh treatment. With time to kill, he decides to find a quiet place to rest before their next run. He reflects on how the experience from defeating the unicorn leveled him up to 6 just in time. His system window confirms he now has 2 summons, but the unicorn's abilities are still unknown. Deciding to test his new prize, he prepares to summon the mythical creature. A massive, glowing magic circle materializes on the forest floor at his command. With a determined shout, he calls forth his powerful new unicorn summon. The summoning circle erupts in a blinding flash of pure celestial energy. He instinctively shields his eyes, taken aback by the sheer intensity of the light. But as the light fades, he finds the clearing empty, his summon nowhere in sight. He frantically searches the dissipating smoke, his confusion turning to comical panic. A system window delivers the bad news. The summoning failed, leaving him to wonder what went wrong. The system reveals the summon hasn't hatched, prompting him to begin the process. He's shocked to discover the hatching process will take a full 3 days to complete. Resigned to the long wait, he decides to be patient and let the timer run its course. He then remembers his dungeon rewards, pulling up the system window for his completion chest. His face fills with anticipation as he prepares to open his hard-earned loot box. But instead of a reward, he's confused by an unexpected system mail notification. He discovers it's a special gift pack for breaking the dungeon record, which also grants him a new title. The title, The Fastest Man, leaves him utterly baffled, questioning its strange implications. Shaking off his confusion, he turns his attention back to the more important gift pack. The system window reveals the pack contains high-level equipment and other valuable items. He eagerly commands the system to open his special gift pack. He first turns his attention to the standard dungeon completion chest. The chest reveals a piece of guardian armor and some experience potions, a decent haul. Now, his focus shifts to the more promising, record-breaking reward chest. As the chest opens with a flash, his eyes widen in surprise at its contents. A system window reveals a rare silver-grade ice necklace and other valuable potions. He reflects on the game's equipment ranking system, realizing just how valuable silver-grade gear is. Clutching the powerful necklace, he feels incredibly fortunate to have received such a high-tier item. Without hesitation, he equips his new gear, ready to test its power. A surge of energy flows through him as the new armor materializes, confirming the massive power boost. A confident smirk plays on his lips as he examines the fruits of his victory. His system window reveals his new stats, an S-grade talent, and 2 available skill points. He notes his significant stat improvement and the 2 skill points he has yet to spend. Without hesitation, he decides to invest his points into upgrading his fully armed skill. A surge of red energy envelops him as his skill levels up, now doubling his summon stats for 200 seconds. He basks in the successful upgrade, knowing this power boost will save him precious time in dungeons. With a sly grin, he turns his attention to his next project, leveling up his demonic slime. The system confirms his slime is now a formidable level 9, its stats and skills displayed over its menacing form. But as he prepares to sacrifice resources, the system presents an unexpected prompt for an advancement. His confidence falters, replaced by shock as he realizes his summon might be able to evolve even further. A system window reveals the advancement requires sacrificial blood and 6 more levels to proceed. He eagerly wonders what new skills this mysterious evolution will unlock for his summon. But his excitement turns to frustration as the system offers no description of the advancement's outcome. With a look of grim determination, he decides to risk it all and find out for himself. His finger decisively presses the confirmation button, initiating the dangerous process. He watches as his own life force is drained, the system using his health as the sacrifice. The system confirms the sacrifice is complete, but it has cost him more than half of his maximum HP. A surge of red energy erupts from his summon as the transformation finally begins. The demonic slime is engulfed in a swirling vortex of raw, chaotic power. He's thrown back by the sheer force of the evolution, coughing from the intense energy backlash. He braces himself against the overwhelming torrent of crimson energy. The slime's body contorts and reshapes, its form shifting within the chaotic vortex. His face contorts in shock, realizing the evolution's outcome is far beyond his expectations. Meanwhile, back at the Black Abyss Plaza, his teammates wonder where he's disappeared to. The bard suggests they can track his location using the team panel. Subing agrees, pulling up the system interface to pinpoint his coordinates. The map reveals he's deep in the forest, leaving them to question his strange behavior. Annoyed, the druidess decides they'll go find him themselves. The 2 women race into the woods, determined to track down their missing teammate. They are unknowingly running towards the epicenter of the slime's explosive transformation. He stares in utter disbelief, questioning the unbelievable sight before him. As the smoke clears, his slime is revealed to have evolved into a humanoid female form. He recoils in shock, his face flushing red at the unexpected transformation. His mind races, comically flustered by his summon's new, unclothed appearance. The newly evolved creature looks at him with an innocent and playful expression. But its playful chirp is followed by a sudden lunge, catching him completely off guard. He lets out a panicked cry as his own summon playfully rushes towards him. The creature tackles him with surprising force, sending him tumbling to the ground. The slime looks down with a triumphant and happy expression, pleased with its actions. Pinned to the forest floor, he can only glare, completely overwhelmed by his summon's new personality. The flustered summoner stares at his new humanoid slime, who gazes back with innocent curiosity. He tries to push her away, his hand sinking into her strange, gelatinous form. Shoving her aside, he insists to himself that he's not flustered by his own summon's new appearance. Thinking fast, he frantically pulls a spare set of clothes from his system inventory. He shoves the garment towards his summon, demanding she cover herself up immediately. The creature curiously inspects the clothing, seemingly unsure of what to do with it. Her slime-like body begins to absorb the fabric, merging it with her own form. The clothing reshapes into a unique dress, now a part of her very being. Exhausted by the ordeal, he rubs his forehead, trying to process the bizarre situation. He instructs her to raise her arms, preparing to dress her properly as she happily complies. He holds his newly evolved summon, comically wondering if this makes him a father. A system window pops up, revealing the clothing has granted her a small defense boost. He realizes with a smirk that her new humanoid form allows her to equip professional gear. Eager to see the results of the evolution, he pulls up her new stat sheet. The system reveals a huge power spike, jumping her from level 9 to 15 with massively improved stats. He examines her two new skills, a powerful area of effect attack and a devastating single-target ability. He decides he must test these formidable new skills as soon as he gets the chance. Meanwhile, his teammates track him through the forest, annoyed by his sudden disappearance. The map shows them closing in on his location, but a second unknown dot appears nearby. The druidess urges her companion to hurry, determined to find out what he's up to. The druidess peeks from behind a tree, her expression hardening as she finally spots her target. Her eyes widen in disbelief as she sees him on the ground in a compromising position with an unknown girl. The exhausted bard finally catches up, completely unaware of the shocking scene just ahead. But her exhaustion instantly turns to flustered surprise as she gets a clear view of the situation. The druidess storms out from her hiding spot, furiously demanding to know what he's doing. Startled by their sudden arrival, Lin Tianhao looks up, questioning why they are there. Suing's face twists with rage as she sarcastically accuses him of being caught in the act. A cold sweat forms on his brow as he realizes the catastrophic nature of the misunderstanding. Her furious accusation echoes through the forest, followed by his distant pained cry. He tearfully tries to defend himself, but his teammates blame him for not explaining his summon's new form. He frantically argues that they never gave him a chance to explain the situation. He awkwardly asks why they tracked him down as the dungeon portal reopens behind them. The druidess explains that their entry cooldown was over, and they couldn't go in without him. He claims he lost track of time while resting, just as the system timer hits 0. A system prompt appears, asking the party to confirm their entry into the Cold Valley Abyss. With the team reassembled, the druidess declares it's time to enter the new dungeon, and he agrees. The party is engulfed in a flash of blue light as they teleport into the icy abyss. They arrive in a snowy wasteland, finding it already littered with the remains of slain monsters. Elsewhere, the elite Murong party reports that they've cleared the area but still haven't found what they're looking for. Murong Yu thoughtfully examines his blade, pondering their next move in the desolate dungeon. Murong Yu's face darkens with the realization that someone else has already claimed their prize. He stands frustrated amidst the carnage, unable to believe they were beaten to the punch. A subordinate turns to his leader, asking what their next course of action should be. Another party member furiously suggests they find the culprits and buy back what was stolen. His teammate smacks him, pointing out the foolishness of trying to buy a mythical beast and revealing their secret mission. A different member speculates that a rival guild might have intercepted their target. Murong Shui angrily silences her bickering teammates with a sharp command. She dismisses their theories, certain that a team of unaffiliated rogues was responsible. She explains that only their guild possessed the fragments needed to track the awakened unicorn. Her eyes narrow as she deduces that a party already in the dungeon must have taken it down by chance. Murong Yu confirms the abyss is unstable, noting the beast awakened earlier than they anticipated. He clenches his fist, frustrated that the creature's death will make the dungeon even more difficult. A subordinate suggests they hunt down the teams that just left the abyss and take back what was stolen. His subordinates' anger is directed specifically at the arrogant summoner they just encountered. But Murong Yu rejects the violent plan, insisting the Golden Lion Guild doesn't slaughter innocents. He reasons that any party capable of defeating a hidden boss would be a formidable opponent. A sudden realization dawns on him as he connects the dots back to the record-breaking summoner Lin Tianhao. He decides to halt their search, ordering a report back to headquarters before they make their next move. The elite leader commands his party to retreat and return to the guild for now. Suddenly, a pillar of blue light erupts from the snowy ground, signaling a new arrival. The party materializes inside the dungeon, enveloped in a brilliant flash of blue energy. They find themselves in a vast, desolate wasteland of snow and ice. Lin Tianhao shivers uncontrollably, unused to the dungeon's frigid temperatures. The druidess takes the lead, urging her team to move quickly through the icy terrain. He sighs in resignation, already tired of her demanding, princess-like attitude. The party ventures deeper into a dark, frozen forest, their auras cutting through the gloom. They stop as a pair of glowing red eyes watch them from the shadows of a thicket. She identifies this as the spawn point for the first corrupted direwolf, ready for a warm-up. The druidess transforms, sprouting wolf ears and claws as she prepares to engage the beast. A pack of corrupted direwolves suddenly lunges from the darkness, beginning the first assault. The bard is stunned, realizing they're facing 5 direwolves instead of the expected one. Lin Tianhao also realizes the monster count has quintupled, making the dungeon far more dangerous. Unfazed, the druidess leaps into the fray, boasting she can defeat them all in a single blow. She calls out to the bard for support, her eyes glowing with fierce determination. The bard quickly confirms she is ready to cast her buffing spell. She unleashes a wave of musical energy, enveloping her teammates in a powerful aura. The druidess praises the perfect timing as the buff reaches her, just as the wolves close in. Her attack lands with devastating force, inflicting massive damage on the entire wolf pack. She smirks with satisfaction, finding the souped-up monsters to be no challenge at all. Lin Tianhao notes her impressive damage output, acknowledging her power as a true combat class. His expression hardens as he analyzes the increased monster count, sensing a pattern. The druidess, however, is unfazed, confidently declaring she'll defeat them all. He examines the fallen wolves, questioning if the increased numbers are a coincidence or a sign of something worse. Annoyed by his hesitation, the druidess urges him to hurry up and follow them deeper into the dungeon. He resolves to find the truth, certain the next spawn point will reveal what's really going on. As they enter a new clearing, he looks around, feeling an unsettling presence in the air. The druidess prepares for another fight, instructing the bard to keep casting buffs on her. But Lin Tianhao suddenly cries out, trying to stop them from rushing into an unseen danger. The entire forest floor begins to tremble violently, catching the party completely by surprise. As the ground shakes, the druidess attempts to keep her teammates calm amidst the chaos. A mound of snow suddenly erupts before the startled teammates, revealing a hidden threat. A massive, shadowy beast bursts from the ground, its corrupted energy crackling as it lunges. Lin Tianhao realizes with a grim expression that the entire clearing was a carefully laid trap. An overhead view shows the party is now surrounded by a horde of direwolves and 2 hulking monsters. The bard panics, desperately asking what they should do against such overwhelming numbers. He calmly notes the monsters are no longer attacking mindlessly, suggesting they've gained intelligence. One of the giant beasts smashes the ground, sending a devastating shockwave of ice and rock towards them. The druidess and bard are thrown off their feet by the powerful tremor, crying out in alarm. Unfazed by the chaos, Lin Tianhao stands his ground as a powerful red aura begins to envelop him. His eyes glow with fierce resolve, signaling he's finally ready to get serious. A colossal shadow beast looms over him, its purple eyes glowing with malevolent energy. The direwolves lunge, believing their overwhelming numbers have sealed his fate. His terrified teammates can only watch as a monstrous wolf prepares for the final strike. But a confident smirk plays on his lips, completely unbothered by the hopeless situation. With a dramatic flourish, he begins his counterattack by calling forth his summon. His eyes blaze with power as he unleashes his newly evolved demon slime. A colossal, sword-like structure erupts from the icy ground, radiating immense purple energy. Elsewhere in the dungeon, the Murong party is shaken by the sudden, massive tremor. One of the elite members cries out in alarm, struggling to keep his balance as the world shakes. Even the unflappable Murong Yu is stunned, his face a mask of disbelief at this unforeseen power. Back at the Black Abyss, the crowd suddenly points in alarm towards the dungeon entrance. The portal violently erupts, spitting out defeated adventurers and skeletal remains. Onlookers are horrified by the gruesome scene, with some becoming physically ill from the shock. A nearby official panics, completely unprepared for the sudden and violent chaos. A gravely injured adventurer collapses, warning that the Black Abyss itself is rioting. The official rushes to the fallen man's side, stunned by his critical condition. He demands to know what's causing the dungeon's unprecedented instability. But a system window appears announcing the player's imminent death and teleportation. The plaza is now littered with the fading bodies of countless players, all defeated inside. The portal swirls with a terrifying, untamed energy, hinting at the catastrophe unfolding within. The portal continues to spew a torrent of skeletal remains, a grim sign of the dungeon's fury. Onlookers recoil in terror as the plaza is littered with the remains of fallen adventurers. An official stares in disbelief at a system window announcing a shocking change to the dungeon. The system confirms the Black Abyss difficulty has escalated to Nightmare, a level no one can challenge. The panicked official desperately radios for backup, screaming that the entire dungeon is in revolt. Back inside, Lin Tianhao stands calmly amidst the horde, gathering a powerful red energy. With a determined expression, he unleashes his trump card, summoning his evolved demon slime. A massive wolf lunges to attack, but he remains completely unfazed by the immediate threat. He closes his eyes with a confident smirk, ready to unleash the full might of his summon. The two colossal shadow beasts also charge forward, joining the all-out assault against him. But the hulking beasts are stopped in their tracks, their advance shattered by an unseen force. One of the monsters stares in disbelief, its glowing eyes wide with shock at the sudden turn of events. In an instant, the entire wolf pack is decimated, their bodies thrown aside by a wave of devastating power. The two giant monsters look up in confusion as his evolved summon descends from above. Lin Tianhao stands with casual confidence, his demonic slime draped over him like a living weapon. His teammates can only stare in utter amazement, completely stunned by his hidden strength. He glances back, calmly telling his party to get to a safe distance while he handles the rest. Trusting him completely, the Druidess and Bard retreat, leaving the battlefield in his hands. From behind cover, they watch with a mix of concern and awe, hoping he can defeat the empowered monsters. Now alone, his summon stands ready, facing down the remaining horde with unwavering resolve. He smirks confidently, taunting the remaining monsters to bring their best. The enraged beasts roar in unison, charging forward for a final desperate assault. A corrupted direwolf lunges, its fangs bared and ready to tear into its target. His summon leaps into the fray, effortlessly intercepting the monstrous charge. The slime delivers a powerful kick, connecting squarely with the direwolf's head. With a determined expression, he commands his summon to finish the fight. The slime's body morphs into a massive tentacle, striking down at the hulking shadow beast. The powerful blow lands with devastating impact, staggering the colossal monster. His teammates watch from afar, worried that the powerful wolf kings might overwhelm him. His eyes narrow with focus as he commands his slime to switch to a defensive formation. His summon expands into a massive, swirling shield, intercepting the remaining monsters. A direwolf lunges, only to be enveloped and corroded by the gelatinous defender. His teammates watch in horror, initially fearing his summon is being overwhelmed. Critical damage numbers confirm the slime's acidic body is melting away the monster's health. Their fear turns to excitement as they realize the slime's corrosive nature dooms the Wolf Kings. A giant Wolf King roars in agony, trapped and being consumed by the relentless summon. The slime's tendrils lash out, tearing into the beast with overwhelming force. His party can only stare in disbelief as the tide of battle turns so dramatically. The once mighty Wolf King is completely dismantled, its form disintegrating from the assault. Lin Tianhao takes a minor hit, but remains unfazed, finding the monster's desperate struggle interesting. The Bard panics as the slime's defense is breached, but the Druidess orders her to continue casting healing spells. The two colossal Wolf Kings roar and unleash a coordinated assault on the overwhelmed slime. A massive foot stomps down, seemingly crushing the summon under its immense weight. The Bard frantically warns her leader as the monsters turn their attention towards their hiding spot. Despite its efforts, the slime takes significant damage as the direwolves relentlessly tear into it. Lin Tianhao's expression hardens as he confirms his suspicion. The monsters are intelligent and coordinating their attacks. The two Wolf Kings attack in perfect sync, one raising a massive club to deliver a finishing blow. The Bard cries out in terror, trying to warn her teammates of the impending danger. The Druidess grabs the Bard and forcibly pulls her back, scolding her for her reckless desire to intervene. The Bard looks back in desperation, her voice filled with concern for Lin Tianhao's fate. Su-Ying contemplates a risky plan to save her teammate. The Druidess turns, noticing Su-Qing's sudden change in demeanor. Su-Ying considers her limited options, holding a mysterious vial. A system window reveals the vial's contents and its potentially dangerous side effects. Despite the risks, Su-Qing decides to use the vial, ready to face the consequences.